many benefits, remain a cornerstone of President Mahama's research agenda. He is determined to ensure the rapid development of the sector so that we would have adequate food and all the raw materials we need to feed industry. To that end, he appointed a man of exceptional knowledge in the sector to lead government's efforts at attaining the desired outcome. Today, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, the Honorable Eric Opoku, who also doubles as the Member of Parliament for the good people of Esunafo South, is here to bring us up to speed and there are many interventions that are being rolled out to achieve the objective. So he will brief us on exactly what has been done, what is to be done, and where we are going as a country. As far as
Ministers, citizens of Ghana, permit me to express profound appreciation for the opportunity to account. Ghana's agricultural landscape presents a paradox. On one hand, we are blessed with an abundance of arable land, a growing and youthful population, numerous inland water bodies, and favorable access to regional and international trade. These assets hold the promise of economic transformation and food sovereignty. On the other hand, our farmers and agribusinesses continue to face deep-rooted structural challenges, such as persistent food insecurity, high post-harvest losses, climate change threats, limited mechanization, and fragmented value chains that suppress growth and discourage investment. It is against this backdrop that the government, under the visionary leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, launched the Agriculture for Economic Transformation Agenda, AITA, a bold, practical, a flagship program under AITA, being implemented by MOFA, serves as the main vehicle for productivity growth, agro-industrialization, climate resilience, youth employment, and export diversification, such as input delivery, irrigation expansion, farmer registration, value addition support, and digital agricultural systems. In simple terms, why AITA tells us what to do and why, Feed Ghana shows us how and where. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the urgency of this transformative agenda cannot be overemphasized. As of 7th January 2025, when the National Democratic Congress NDC assumed office, Ghana's food import bill had reached alarming levels. About $3 billion was spent annually on basic food items such as rice, poultry, vegetable oils, sugar, and processed goods that could and should be produced locally. This not only drained our foreign exchange reserves, but also eroded our food self-sufficiency and exposed us to external price shocks. Indeed, food prices in Ghana have been on a relentless upward trajectory. Between 2022 and early 2025, the cost of basic food commodities more than doubled in several urban markets, at an unprecedented 61% in January 2023, under the previous administration. Though there were marginal reductions thereafter, food inflation remained dangerously high, significantly undermining purchasing power and increasing the cost of living for our people. When the NDC government took over in January 2025, food inflation was 28.3%, reflecting the fragile macroeconomic environment we inherited. Today, due to decisive leadership, prudent interventions, and efforts to stabilize the food system, food inflation has dropped significantly to 9.5% as of October 2025, providing much-needed relief to households and industries alike. This turnaround is a testament to the importance of resetting Ghana's agricultural economy, and it begins with the right. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture moved to lay critical foundations that will ensure long-term productivity, sustainability, security, resilience, and import substitution. Among the most urgent interventions, supply of imported seed, often arriving well after the planting season, demanded urgent redress. To tackle this, the government has prioritized local seed production as a strategic imperative for food security. Without seed sovereignty, there can be no food security. We recognize the immense potential of our research institutions in seed research, development, and testing, and the ministry stands ready to collaborate with them as we work towards full supply locally sourced seeds to the Ghanaian farmers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is instructive to note that Korea Plant Industries Association, KOPIA, Ghanaian farmers are undergoing intensive training in seed is developing irrigation infrastructure on 100 hectares of land to support rice seed production. To ensure sustainability and affordability, the Korea Institute for Advancement of Technology, KIAT, has commissioned 1 megawatt solar farm to power the irrigation systems. With technical support from the Ministry of Energy, this project is expected to be completed in 2027. It will produce 10,000 tons of high-quality rice seed, and Ghana will be well on its way to rice seed independence. Similarly, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, in collaboration with the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, is training rice seed producers in Weta, government of the Netherlands, production in Ghana. Our unqualified, developed by the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, to support our rice farmers free of charge. With support from AGRA, the ministry has taken delivery of modern seed testing equipment for the plant protection control. AGRA has again supported the acquisition of fertilizer testing equipment for PPRSD, enhancing the ministry's ability to monitor and regulate fertilizer quality nationwide. Now, soil management. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, effective soil management is indispensable for enhanced crop productivity. It is against this background that, in partnership with the Food and Agricultural Organization, MOFA has taken delivery of state-of-the-art soil sampling and analysis across the country will commence in the early part of 2026. This initiative is crucial, also enables us to determine crop suitability in specific areas for increased productivity. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, FAO, MOFA, and the Soil Research Institute of CSIR are collaborating to build a reliable scientific foundation for sustainable soil management and agricultural planning in Ghana. Weather information systems, building climate intelligence for agriculture. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, agricultural success today depends not only on land and labor, but on timely and accurate weather information. Climate variability and unpredictability are among the greatest risks our farmers face, and responding to these requires systems that generate, analyze, and disseminate data in real time. We have installed 20 automated weather stations across the country under the Ghana Meteorological Agency, GMET. These stations, unlike manual ones, collect data automatically 24/7, ensuring higher accuracy and consistency, faster data transmission to GMET central database, elimination of manual dependency for readings, planning. Out of the climate crafts have been formed to promote environmental literacy and ownership. This does not only provide fiscal security for the instruments, but also educates the next generation about climate smart agriculture. The automated weather stations allow us to provide with precise and hyper local advisories on rainfall patterns, temperature trends, wind conditions, and soil health, directly influencing planting. Analyze data from both manual and automated weather stations. The ministry is establishing a management information system. The system will enable real-time analysis, visualization, and dissemination of weather forecasts. MIS has been shortlisted, and the evaluation report has been submitted to the World Bank for approval. Once completed, this MIS will serve as the digital backbone of Ghana's agro-meteorological intelligence. Another groundbreaking initiative in the climate model pilot designed to strengthen early warning. 1,059 farmers across 15 regions have been receiving climate smart agricultural advice via SMS. Of the climate model is scheduled for the first week of December 2025 and will reach tens of thousands more. Information dissemination infrastructure to ensure that weather data reaches all farmers regardless of location. The ministry has secured a partnership with the Ministry of Communication to send SMS alerts free of charge to farmers, to broadcast forecasts, to deliver forecasts directly to remote communities. Through our growing network of almost 70,000 community commodity farmer cooperatives. This, furthermore, with the support of MAPLAS, a modern tool that represents a new milestone in the journey of Ghana towards enhancing animal health surveillance, disease notification, and early warning systems has been developed and deployed 2025 by Magusev. And under this system, once a farmer observes any abnormal symptoms, report to the Central Diagnostic Laboratory in Accra. The laboratory, now fully equipped and retooled, conducts rapid diagnosis by ensuring type health and environmental safety and food quality. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with these comprehensive systems in place, Ghana is entering a new era of climate smart agriculture, where technology, data, and local knowledge work hand in hand to safeguard the livelihoods of our farmers and the food security of our nation. This is agriculture anchored on data and technology. Delivering the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda through the Feed Ghana program. Distinguished Transformation Agenda framework. This program translates the high-level goals of ITA into visible, ground-level interventions that are restoring hope, reviving agricultural enterprises, and reclaiming Ghana's food sovereignty. Under the Feed Ghana program, hear from local operations to support the government broad policy of the 24-hour economy. Allow me to walk you through the key pillars of the Feed Ghana program, detailing what we have achieved in the last 10 months. Campaign to stimulate national interest in agriculture. Feed Ghana becomes a national movement. The first leg of agriculture, what began as a policy intervention, has now evolved to a national movement, a rallying call to institutions, youth, and communities to take ownership of Ghana's agricultural revival. Under this campaign, several public and private institutions are actively engaged in institutional farming. This includes the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Prison Service, the National Service Authority, 413 senior high schools, junior high schools, and primary schools, public universities such as the University of Ghana, KNUST, UCC, UDS, Ho Technical University, University of Energy and Natural Resources, etc., etc. Faith-based organizations, including churches and mosques. This is sure of all Ghanaians. It has rekindled a national spirit of food independence and restored dignity to farming. Home gardening. As part of the Feed Ghana campaign, a clarion call has been made to all households to engage in home gardening to help reduce household expenditure on food, especially vegetables. The participation has been massive and incredible, even though the campaign has not achieved its full objectives. It has been a passable endeavor. To sustain this home gardening program, MOFA is establishing nurseries at the district departments of agriculture across the country to improve household access to the seedlings of various vegetables. Irrigation for wealth creation, ending rain-dependent agriculture. A critical enabler for food sufficiency under the Feed Ghana program is irrigation infrastructure. To ensure all year-round production and climate resilience, MOFA is aggressively shifting Ghana's agriculture from rain-fed production to irrigation-based farming. This, in the wisdom of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, would facilitate our journey towards food security. Key developments in the past 9 months include construction of 10 new small dams, rehabilitation of 8 existing irrigation dams, 250 solar-powered boreholes for farming communities and second-cycle schools across the 5 regions of the North, Bono, and Ahafo regions. We are also rehabilitating the following irrigation schemes: via irrigation scheme in Bogatanga and Bongo district of the Upper East region to cover land size of 850 hectares. Without irrigation scheme in Ketu North, municipal of the Volta region, to cover land size of 880 hectares. Tanoso irrigation scheme in Techiman, municipal of the Bono East region, to cover land size of 100 hectares. Ashaman irrigation scheme in Greater Accra, land size of 200 hectares. Aveime irrigation scheme in the Volta region, land size of 245 hectares. It must be stated here that Canada has donated 25 solar-powered boreholes. 15 have been completed, and the remaining 10 will be completed in the first quarter of 2026. The European Union, through FAO, have also donated 45 solar-powered boreholes for selected districts in the northern part of the country. Processes have begun for the construction of the following new inland valleys for rice production in our home communities in the Ashanti region to cover land size of 175 hectares. Atons, Kawampe Inland Valley in Kawampe, Tamfuto, Kaka, Tadifufo, Tahirokra, Chiranda, Atekra, and Abrewan core communities in the Bono East region. This is to cover 647 hectares. Odaho and Odamu inland valleys in Yankroma and then Doniaso communities in the Ashanti region, land size of 114 hectares. Wamukumi inland valley in Wamukumi and Ofenhon communities in the Ashanti region, land size of 114 hectares. Additionally, FSRP is supporting the implementation of several pipeline irrigation projects. These interventions are designed not only to support smallholders, but also to anchor commercial farming clusters. Now, farmer service centers, mechanization for modern agriculture. Mechanization is a fundamental requirement for modern agriculture. Under the Feed Ghana program, the ministry is establishing farmer service centers across the country. Procurement processes will soon begin for the acquisition of 660 tractors, 400 combined harvesters, mobilized to equip the first 50 farmer service centers. These centers will provide services such as land preparation, input supply, harvesting support, storage facilities, extension advisory services, market linkage, and equipment leasing at affordable rates, especially to smallholder farmers. Agricultural extension officers, strengthening the front line of knowledge transfer. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of agricultural extension officers cannot be overemphasized. They are the bridge between research and farming practices, bringing innovation and science to the farm gate. However, the current extension agent to farmer ratio in Ghana is far below the international standard. While the acceptable ratio is 1 AEA to 500 farmers in Ghana, it is 1 AEA to over 1,500 farmers. This gap constrains knowledge transfer and adoption of modern agricultural practices. To address this, MOFA plans to procure 540 motorbikes to facilitate AEA mobility. 150 of these motorbikes were distributed on Tuesday, 22nd July 2025. A total of 400 AEAs are being recruited as Feed Ghana coordinators for all the districts. Brigade will be launched before the end of December this year. In addition, 10,000 youth are being enrolled on the National Service Scheme under a 4-year program. Each year, a portion of these youth will be students who have completed the ministry's agricultural. By investing in the front line of service delivery, MOFA is cementing the foundation for economic transformation. To ensure scale, coordination, and inclusivity, MOFA is placing community commodity-focused farmer cooperatives at the heart of our agricultural transformation. These cooperatives are not just for aggregation and marketing. They are being positioned as platforms for training, finance, mechanization, input access, and climate adaptation. As of 11th October 2025, a total of 70,000 community commodity-focused cooperatives have been established across the country. These cooperatives are being integrated into every major intervention, from mechanization to weather advisory, ensuring no farmer is left behind. This is to give the farmers a voice in all agricultural matters. Once they are into cooperatives, they can negotiate for reasonable prices for inputs and reasonable prices for outputs. They can also enjoy the advantages of economies of scale as they live in the same area and produce the same commodity. They can share ideas and prefer solutions to challenges confronting them together. Now, value addition, which is a critical pillar of the Feed Ghana program. Private sector as engine of agro-industrialization. Value addition is essential for job creation, price stabilization, and export diversification. Some notable private sector investments that MOFA will be linking to our well-organized community commodity-focused farmer cooperatives and farmer service centers to ensure a reliable supply is installing rice processing equipment valued at $23,000, providing market access to rice farmers in Tono and Northeast regions. A2 Agro Allied Company is setting up a state-of-the-art poultry feed processing facility in Kase Ashanti region. Nadkansco Processing Limited is establishing an agro-industrial facility in Techiman to process onion. A 154 million euro investment by the government of Italy in partnership with BF International aimed at transforming large-scale commercial agriculture in Ghana has been secured. Under this initiative, a 10,000-hectare irrigated model farm will be developed for the production of rice, maize, soya, and tomato on an all-year-round basis. As part of the project, Siam Barry, an agency of the Italian government, will collaborate with the West African Center for Crop Improvement, WACI, of the University of Ghana to establish and National Seed Bank, while partnering with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, to implement a comprehensive soil testing and suitability program. They will also build schools, hospitals, ICT centers, and community centers for all communities within the production enclaves. Government, with the support of development partners, is setting up a new soya processing plant in northern Ghana to process soya beans into soya cake and oil. While the oil is edible, the cake will contribute to a reduction in poultry feed costs in Ghana, $1,000. This will provide guaranteed markets for soya farmers in northern Ghana. I am happy to report that the soil cutting ceremony. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, additional support is being mobilized for the PBC Share Board has been inaugurated, and the PBC Share Butter Factory, established in 2015 by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and which collapsed in 2019 under the MPP government, to Netherlands and other countries. Ghana shea butter is considered premium in the world market, and we must expand our shea processing capacity to take advantage of the growing demand for shea butter. Steps are therefore being taken to restrict the export of raw shea nuts. Let me repeat that. Steps are therefore being taken to restrict the export of raw shea nuts. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Agence Française Développement is also providing resources under the Boost Ecological Transition Towards Enhanced Revenue Better project for the development of the shea industry. A total of 4 million euros is earmarked for the development of the shea industry. Now, Vegetable Development Project, Yeridua, advancing vegetable production for food security and import substitution. Distinguished guests, fellow Ghanaians, as part of government's broader agricultural diversification agenda, the ministry is implementing the Vegetable Development Project, Yeridua, a strategic intervention to transform the vegetable subsector and reduce the country's dependence on imports. This project will be launched by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama this coming Thursday, 27th of November 2025, in Kukum in the Ahafo region. To address the issue of post-harvest glut and price volatility, partnerships have been established with Farm-Made Tomato Company and the Tomato Women Association to offtake harvested produce at the farm gate. The ministry is also promoting cluster farming models to ease aggregation and transport logistics for large-scale buyers, avoiding the inefficiencies associated with scattered smallholder farms. With a generous grant support of $3.17 million from the government of Norway, the ministry is leading the implementation of a targeted tomato initiative focused on 4 interlinked pillars: seed development, certified seed production, productivity enhancement, and market systems development. Distinguished guests, fellow Ghanaians, a critical pillar of the Feed Ghana program is the revitalization of Ghana's poultry industry, a sector with vast potential to drive import substitution, job creation, and national food security. In alignment with government's commitment to reduce Ghana's annual poultry import bill, estimated between $300 million and $400 million, a set of complementary interventions has been launched to boost both commercial and household level poultry production. Under the Poultry Industry Revitalization Program, 3 interventions are being rolled out to scale Ghana's poultry production, namely Poultry Farm to the Table project. Under this project, anchor farmers and outgrower support are being provided. 50 anchor poultry farmers have been selected for 80,000 birds each. With other logistical support, the target is to produce 4 million birds from this program. The Poultry Intensification Program. This program is being implemented by FSRP. Under this program, 500 small to medium-scale poultry farmers selected from across the country are being empowered to produce 3 million birds. To enhance food security at the grassroots, the ministry is rolling out the Nkokon Ketenkete Initiative, a backyard poultry farming program targeting the production of a total of 3 million birds with a strong focus on women and youth. Under this initiative, vulnerable households will be supported with pullets and basic production inputs. The objective is to improve household nutrition, enhance livelihoods, promote community-based food systems, and whip up interests of Ghanaian women and youth in poultry production. The Nkokon Ketenkete program was launched on 12 November 2025 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana for immediate distribution of 3,000 birds with feed. And as we speak, our teams are on the field distributing to the various constituencies. It is our hope that within the next 3 weeks, every, or maximum 1 month, every constituency in this country will be served. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it must be noted that 13,000 farmers in 12 selected districts have received 720,000 birds. The districts are Tamale Metro, Wa Municipal, Nanton, Savelugu, Mion, Karachi East, Boko West, West Gonja, Nandom, Sisala East, East Mamprusi, and Mamprugu Mwaduri. In some cases, battery cages were distributed to support backyard poultry production, especially those who are doing the layers. This was the pilot for the ministry to appreciate the associated risks of the Nkokon Ketenkete program. The program has been very successful, and hence the need for immediate rollout. This targeted intervention seeks to uplift meaningfully to local food production while improving nutrition and income security at the grassroots level. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at the huge investment we are making in the poultry subsector and the vigorous campaign for participation that the ministry has launched, we anticipate that the nation is going to produce a lot of poultry in the coming months. Hence, our decision to set up a poultry processing factory in Bichim. The procurement processes for the factory have been completed, and the soil cutting ceremony 2025. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, collectively, these poultry-focused interventions represent a coordinated national effort to substantially reduce Ghana's reliance on imported poultry products, strengthen resilience across to empowering both large-scale poultry enterprises and smallholder farmers to reclaim the domestic poultry market and secure Ghana's food future. Now, livestock breeding and dairy stations. The Amrehia Dairy Farms is receiving special attention within the ministry to meet the nutritional needs of our people. The National Food Buffer Stock Company, NAFCO, 100 million Ghana cedis has been released to NAFCO to mop up excess produce in the market and store them against emergencies. For the first time in our history, Ghana is building national food buffer against both producers and consumers. Now, Tree Crop Development Authority, accelerating industrialization and export diversification. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, tree crops continue to play a pivotal role in Ghana's economic transformation agenda, serving as a key driver for industrialization. As authority, significant progress has been made in promoting, regulating, and coordinating the development of 6 strategic cash crops, namely cashew, oil palm, rubber, shea, coconut, and mango. These commodities remain central to the government plan to diversify exports, create employment, and improve livelihoods across all regions of the country. Major programs and interventions. 2 flagship programs are currently driving the implementation of TCD's mandate. The Ghana Tree Crops Diversification Project is a 1 million initiative aimed at enhancing economic, social, and climate resilience, being distributed free of charge to 10,000 registered farmers on the Ghana Agricultural Actors platform. By 2026, 8,500 farmers, for 8,500 farmers, 2 million coconut seedlings for 1,200 farmers, and 1,000,000 farmers to increase productivity and enhance climate adaptation. 15 processing enterprises in the cashew, rubber, and coconut sectors have been shortlisted to receive matching grant support to expand processing capacity and generate employment. 2 research institutions are receiving logistical support, including pickup vehicles, to strengthen field research and innovation in tree crops. TCDA has also developed and operationalized a policy framework for a social development unit and child labor desk, ensuring gender inclusion, social safeguards, and the elimination of child labor within the tree crop sector. Furthermore, a grievance redress mechanism has been launched with toll-free lines and a web-based reporting system to promote transparency and accountability in project implementation. The Ghana Private Sector Competitiveness Program Phase 2. This is a CHF 9 million bilateral partnership between the Government of Ghana and the Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs, SECO, implemented by NIRAS and Proforest. The program focuses on enhancing trade competitiveness in the cashew and oil palm value chains. A national policy dialogue on cashew and oil palm was convened in Accra in July 2025 to harmonize policies and improve coordination among key stakeholders. A matching grant facility of CHF 850,000 has been established to support local processors in upgrading equipment and improving processing efficiency, among others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the work of the Tree Crop Development Authority is a cornerstone of Ghana's agricultural transformation. Through effective regulation, strategic partnership, and targeted investment, TCDA is positioning the tree crop sector as a driver of value addition, industrialization, export growth, and sustainable livelihoods. The ministry remains committed to supporting TCDA to ensure that Ghana's tree crops, from cashew to shea, become engines of national prosperity, contributing significantly to GDP growth, foreign exchange earnings, and the well-being of our farmers. Now, $1 million USD revolving fund unveiled to strengthen agricultural development in northern region. To ensure the sustainability of ongoing agricultural interventions in northern Ghana, the ministry has operationalized a $1 million revolving fund to provide low-interest financial support designed to enhance access to affordable credit, particularly for smallholder farmers, women and youth, enabling them to expand their operations, improve productivity, and invest in modern farming practices. By facilitating continuous reinvestment, the revolving fund serves as a financial lifeline for producers, input dealers, aggregators, and processors within the Northern Savannah Ecological Zone. Through this mechanism, beneficiaries of donor-supported projects such as Savannah Investment Program and the Global Agricultural and Food Security part of government's broader commitment to building sustainable and inclusive rural economies, ensuring that progress in agricultural productivity is matched by improved access to finance and enterprise growth opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, under the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program. Under this program, additional financing to the Savannah Investment Program to boost food and nutrition security has been secured. I personally launched this program in Tamale some few months ago. Under the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program, GAFS, additional financing to the Savannah Investment Program, government has launched a 20 million agro input distribution. The project it focuses on the production of key staples, maize, rice, soybean, cowpea, and groundnut, and promotes year-round vegetable cultivation through solar-powered micro-irrigation schemes for farmer groups and selected schools. To strengthen the poultry value chain, the project also supports both household and commercial poultry production. This includes the distribution of 50,000 4-week-old guinea kits to 5,000 households for backyard poultry products of male farmers for egg production, and 50,000 broilers and 50,000 guinea fowls to commercial poultry farmers at a 50% subsidy on day-old chicks, complemented by feed, vaccines, and medication. In addition, the project facilitates the distribution of critical fertilizer and seed inputs to participating districts, including 46,400 bags, 50 kg of NPK fertilizer for maize, 1,080 bags, 50 kg of fertilizer for rice, 5,200 bags, 50 kg of fertilizer for soybean, 23,740 bags, 50 kg of urea, 15,460 bags, 50 kg of organic fertilizer for vegetables, 4,400 bags, 50 kg of rice seed, 520 bags, 50 kg of soybean seed, 100 bags, 50 kg of cowpea seed, 5,000 bags, 50 kg of maize seed. This comprehensive support package is a testament to government's commitment to enhancing productivity, improving livelihoods, and ensuring national food security. The initiative, implemented with the technical support of the African Development Bank and generous funding from GAFS, represent a strategic scale-up of proven interventions under the Savannah Investment Program, fully aligned with the Feed Ghana program and Ghana's food system transformation agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, these initiatives collectively represent not just a reset, but a resurgence of Ghana's agricultural sector. We are rebuilding the food systems from the ground up with resilience, sustainability, security, and equity at the center. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me also indicate that the Nkukong Kitenkete program has attracted a lot of support. The European Union has given us 150 bears, 150,000 day-old chicks to support the Nkukong Kitenkete program. 150,000 of them. Now, conclusion. The road ahead for agricultural transformation. Under the visionary leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, The Ministry of Food and Agriculture has not only diagnosed the deep-rooted challenges of our agricultural system, but has also begun the necessary groundwork to restructure that system for the future. From institutional farming campaigns, farmer cooperatives, irrigation development, value addition, agricultural mechanization, to weather prediction systems, the ministry has laid the critical cornerstones for a resilient, productive, and inclusive food economy. Ladies and gentlemen, our work is far from done. Ghana still imports what we can grow. Our rural youth still migrates in search of jobs that agriculture can provide. Our farmers still face risks that can be prevented with the right investment, tools, information, and access. And our economy remains vulnerable to external shocks that a strong domestic food system can buffer. Consolidation and expansion of Feed Ghana interventions, including scaling up irrigation and mechanization coverage, deepening the integration of farmer cooperatives into all service delivery models, and agricultural research and innovation systems by modernizing our research infrastructure in partnership with CSIR, bridging the gap between research findings and field application through better resource AEs and digital platforms, public-private partnership for agro-industrialization to expand the investment pipeline under SIP, SADEP, and other frameworks, promote inclusive value chains that engage women, youth, and smallholders, climate resilience, and sustainable land use for rolling out climate smart agriculture technologies across all districts, and leveraging digital tools and remote sensing for land restoration, planning, and resource optimization, job creation and youth employment, entailing the acceleration of the National Service Agripreneur Track under the Feed Ghana program, transitioning of successful service personnel into long-term agribusiness ventures and the public sector, digitalization of agricultural services for access, enhancing real-time data sharing among key stakeholders through digital dashboards and MIS platforms. My brothers and sisters, in all these endeavors, we remain guided by the vision of the President that agriculture must no longer be seen as a way of life, but as a business, a strategic growth sector that will drive employment, industrialization, and that we are committed to delivering results with urgency, integrity, and accountability. We are fully aware that the mandate we hold is not just administrative, it is generational. It is about transforming the fortunes of our farmers, empowering the youth, reducing our import dependency, and ensuring that every Ghanaian child, regardless of where they are born, can access nutritious, affordable. Thanking all our partners, bilateral and multilateral institutions, traditional authorities, farmer-based organizations, private agribusinesses, and most importantly, the Ghanaian farmer whose resilience continues to inspire us all. Let us move forward. Let us move forward. Not let us feed Ghana. Let us eat Ghana. Let us restructure agriculture. Let us transform our economy. And let us build the future together. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Well, that, by every indication, was a very comprehensive briefing, which has touched on just about every aspect of the agriculture sector. At this juncture, we will zoom straight into a question and answer session, so that if journalists present have any questions regarding the presentation made by the minister or any other matter relating to the sector that he heads, they may step forward and ask those questions. So as is the usual rubric, identify yourself and then go straight to the question. Because of time, you'll be restricted to just one question, please. All right, I'll give you a special dispensation, being the first to come to the microphone. So please pull it up. And then, yeah. All right, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Everything that has been said here is geared towards. My name is Ethia GBC. Everything that has been said here is geared towards increased food production. What is the ministry doing about provision of storage facilities to avoid food gluts or post-harvest losses? And let me chip in this last one. Honorable Minister, for about 3 or so days now, there's been a video trending on social media of a young man believed to be an NPP activist in the studio of Wood to Me. And he's somebody who's obviously not convinced about the success of the Ekoko Nketenkete program. And his view is that even if he succeeds, they will import diseases and hawks to scuttle the program. If this has come to your attention or not, what do you tell Ghanaians who
skepticism and outright comical conduct? So we can excuse the latter and focus on the more serious matters.
Right. Yeah. My name is Wisdom Hedejum. I work with TVXYZ. Bit of update. Now, you talk about constructing or building a poultry processing factory in Bechim. I want to know about the Palogo meat factory as well as the tomato factory, the update on that. And then update on the pump machines that were handed over to you by the anti-Galamsey tax force, NIMOS. I want to know update.
So everybody who has a question should step up. And once the minister answers them, that will be it. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Honorable, my name is Julius. I report for the Ghanaian Times.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I would want you to break down what you call Ghana Food Brigade for us. And then, if the two phases of the poultry revitalization program comes into force, when do you estimate that Ghana will be completely poultry sufficient? Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Please pass it on. Pass it on. We'll replace it in a jiffy. Sorry for the technical hitch. All right. Sorry for that interregnum here.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Maxwell Agwagwa. I work with Joy FM and Joy News. My question is about the elephants in the room. For some days now, farmers have been complaining at million Ghana cedis for the food buffer stock company to buy the surplus. An additional 100 million cedis was also provided to buy the surplus. I want to find out what is the update on that. One, what criteria is the Greek ministry using to buy the surplus from the market? How much the issue also about an egg glut, a complaint being raised by the Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association. And then my final question, if I can ask, a lot of interventions are being rolled out by this current government. Ekoko Nketenkete, you've talked about the ITA and all of that. I want to find out, when do you anticipate that Ghanaians are going to see the imported food?
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Romeo Tete, and I report for Ahonto FM. Please, my question is, given that illegal mining has degraded farmlands in many parts of Ghana, including cocoa growing regions, How is the ministry working to protect agricultural land and support affected farmers? Thank you.
So we'll take the last question from Hanan.
My name is Abdul Hanan Adam. I work with the EIB network. Minister, my question ties in with Romeo's question regarding cocoa production. The president was in Côte d'Ivoire or Abidjan in the very first 3 months of his administration during the African Development Bank's conference. And he said that Ghana, under his administration, is looking forward to surpassing neighboring Côte d'Ivoire in terms of cocoa production and the establishment of cocoa processing factories in the country. I want to find out from you if the vision of the president is something you are aware of, and where are we with regards to ensuring that Ghana becomes the leading cocoa producer and surpasses Côte d'Ivoire in that regard. And to tie into the question about illegal mining and whether the data is in front of you, and how do you intend to collaborate with other sector ministers to ensure that we are able to safeguard cocoa farming in our country? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the minister would answer these questions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Felix. The first question was about storage, and the questioner indicated that throughout the presentation he did not hear about storage. I think I mentioned storage, but I think I have to elaborate on interventions to provide storage facilities to enable him have. When you produce, you have to store it, process, package the food from the production point until it gets to the table for consumption. Now, storage, what are we doing? Before the production season commences, we ask the National Food Buffer Stock to expand storage facilities ahead of the season. In fact, the West Africa Food Buffer Stock also came in. They are moving from Burkina Faso because today, because of the turbulence there, they can no longer store their food there. So they came to us. We gave them some of our storage facilities that are not fine, working on one of the biggest storage facilities for us. So we are expanding our storage facilities. We are also aware that there are a lot of private storage facilities around. We have some in Eastern Region, some in Sunyane. You should be able to store. Then ability to step into the market, mop up the excess, store them, and release in times of emergencies. And so certainly if they don't have storage facilities, they cannot do that. So storage, we are doing very well there. And then on the issue of people, some even contemplating on importing some kind of diseases to just frustrate the program. We will make sure the program becomes a success. And let me indicate to you, before scaling it up, we have done with a pilot system. And under the pilot, we did so, and we are put in place the necessary mechanisms to ensure that the program becomes a big success. What we expect from the people of Ghana is that we are solving a challenge together. It is not about who is in charge. It is about a problem confronting all of us. We spent $400 million to import poultry from outside to supplement local consumption. That $400 million creates thousands of jobs in that country at the peril of our own youth. So we are only trying to say that let's produce it locally, save the $400 million, create jobs for you, your children, your grandchildren, your siblings and neighbors. And we are saying that this should be destroyed. Certainly, we will protect the investment. Then on the issue of Pualugu tomato factory and the industry, is working seriously on the meat factory. For the Pualugu tomato factory, we are working with FarmMate to bring it back. This celebration, I'll personally go with FarmMate to Pualugu to look at what we can do finally to bring Pualugu on board. I've already indicated that even the share factory that was collapsed in 2019, we have brought it back within 10 months because we believe that the processes together. It is that strong marriage that can produce jobs, sustainable and gainful jobs for the youth of our nation. The task force fighting against Galamsey confiscated these items, and in consonance with the law, the items, the court to support the implementation tar pumps. And 3 days after that, we distributed the 900 to 9 regions in our country. Media to extensively cover it. Probably my brother was not there to be part of it, but the news was everywhere in this country. It is believed that by Friday, every single one of the pumps will be on the field to support our farmers. Then the issue of when are we at the food brigade, first food brigade, that we should throw more light. I've already indicated recruiting 400 of them as coordinators to form the food brigade, the National Food Brigade. They will be deployed to the various districts to work under the district agricultural directors. They will be given motorbikes. Because as we speak now, under the decentralization law, all our directors down there are part of the district assembly. The National Food Brigade to fill the gap for us. But they will be working under the district directors. In fact, we are almost done with the interviews and everything. And within some few days, you will see action of the first ever National Food Brigade being established to modernize agriculture, to ensure sustainability, because the resources we are using today must be preserved for the future use of the upcoming generation. Then there was a question on poultry sufficiency, that looking at the investment we are making, when do we think Ghana will attain sufficiency, self-sufficiency in poultry production? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are not operating in a vacuum. We are being guided by a document. We have dissected the challenges confronting the agriculture in Ghana. We have preferred solutions, and then we have set for ourselves targets every year what we seek to achieve. This is what we call the Feed Ghana document. We started it with a technical team put together to generate the document. When the document was ready, we brought all stakeholders together to validate the contents of this document. The validation workshop, which lasted for 3 days, was done, and then after that, the World Bank voluntarily decided to print the document free of charge for us. So this is our garden document. Now when you look at page 47, our targets for the poultry subsector is captured. Our self-sufficiency level is 12%. Now we targeted 2026, we said we'll move it to 76%. But when you look at what we are seeing on the ground, the enthusiasm we have generated, and the participation by the private, we'll use the figures to compare with our targets to see where we got more than our target and where we fell short. So from this document, clearly we envision that latest by 2029, Ghana will be full self-sufficiency in poultry, will be self-sufficient in poultry production. And so we want you. And then another can take. And this is as a result of the investment, of the campaign that we embarked upon. Let it be noted that in the agricultural space, what government does is to create the enabling environment for the private sector to operate. Government creates that atmosphere that induces private sector participation and Ghanaians can buy. And the price of maize that used to be over 1,000 Ghana cedis last year is now being sold around 300 Ghana cedis. In fact, last week, a chief from the north came to my office and said, in his area, the bag of maize is being sold at 200. So buffer stock should intervene immediately. The same with rice. Surprisingly, even onion, we are told that over 3 million cedis worth of onion got destroyed on the market because people were not buying. In fact, women in Volta region have given us their word. It's not only about the cereals. It is widespread. I mean, there's a grat everywhere. Yes, even the egg grat, you mentioned it. It's true. The Greater Accra poultry farmers wrote to me indicating they haven't seen it before. It has gone beyond October, and from the signs, it appears it can go beyond February. So if government does not intervene, all that we have produced in terms of eggs will go waste. Immediately we inform Mr. President, and a directive has been issued that the Ministry of Education should step into the market, buy the eggs to support the school feeding program. And so, yes, there's a problem. But let me indicate here that during the beginning of the season, we anticipated that there will be glut on the market. But we were unable to anticipate the quantum of glut. And that is why, for the first time in our step into the market to buy the excess. That 100 million was exhausted within 3 days. In fact, when I all there, and we still have so much on the market to clear, we informed His Excellency the President, and he's made available additional 200 million. So buffer stock is now going through the procurement processes. It's government money. You can't just step into the market, put the money in your pocket, and then start buying. So they are going through the processes. When they are done, they will get the licensed buyers to be on the field to buy the excess for them. We have also spoken to WFP. They are talking to their counterparts in other areas to see what they can do to mop up the excesses. We have also invited ECOWAS. What plans they have to also be part of the process. We are also speaking to our colleague ministers in West Africa and then Africa. Some of them have shortages and they want to of cereals in those areas. But this is permanent structure. Looking at the figures I've given you, we have a department called SRID, Statistical Research and Information Directorate. At the end of the year, they will go to the field. They will gather information to inform us on the quantities of rice, maize, whatever is anachronistic. We have to scale up to, let's say, 80%, thereabout. Then you say that now, what we are doing now is to educate our people that the Ghanaians produce here, our actions, by eating what is produced in Ghana. And through that, we can secure Ghana. Then, how is the ministry working to support farmers who are affected by Galamsey? Let me indicate here that the fight against illegal mining is being led by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. But because of the we are supporting them. We are supporting, but they are leading the fight. We have our extension officers on the ground. And our view is that the Ghanaian people must understand that the harm being caused is to ourselves. Because if the water is polluted, we will be affected because we drink from the same sources. You go to the rural communities, they live along the rivers. And the rivers serve as their major source of water for everything that they do. If it affects food, it's the same food that we eat. if we destroy the environment, it is the same environment that we are preserving for the future, for the youth. So why should the youth destroy a legacy that we want to leave for them? So if we get our people educated to appreciate that by that action, we are killing ourselves slowly, many people will abstain from that. When you do a comparison of life expectancy of Ghana and other countries, you get worried. You go to Europe, and their life expectancy is above 80 years. You come here, and we are talking about 60 years, 65 years. In some cases, you talk catered to refrain from these acts. Then, when will Ghana overtake Cote d'Ivoire in cocoa production? Very important question. In the 1940s, Ghana was the largest producer of cocoa in the world. In fact, nobody thought that Cote d'Ivoire will one day overtake Ghana in cocoa production. But they took over, and the gap is too wide. While they were producing beyond 2 million tons, we are struggling to hit 1 million. In fact, the last time, we did less than 500,000. And so we have a long way to go. But His Excellency is putting in place mechanisms to address some of the challenges in the cocoa sector so that we can entice a lot of the youth into the cocoa business and ensure that we scale up production. Now, we are supporting the farmers with fertilizers, with pruning, with a lot of things that they have to do, educating them to ensure that we maximize production from whatever we have now. But I must indicate that in recent time, we are seeing a development. Many people are coming into the cocoa sector to do cocoa plantation. Some came to us, they wanted to do 10,000 hectares in Volta region. They have secured the land. Their concern is that they want to produce the beans and then use it to do their own processing here. Because if they want to get the cocoa there, they cannot get it. So they are coming to produce, and then they will buy their own cocoa for their processing activities. In fact, when you look at the whole of Africa and even the world, Africa produces 70% of the world's raw cocoa beans. But when it comes to the chocolate or the processing industry, our share is less than 5%. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire alone produces 60% of the world's raw cocoa beans. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire alone. But our share in the chocolate market is 1%. And that explains why our farmers are always poor. The chocolate market is estimated at $129 billion. And our share is just 1%. So what we have to do is to add value. When you add value, you increase the incomes, you create jobs, and then we maximize our benefits from that. So these are, I think I've answered all the questions. Is there any question I haven't answered?
In-depth briefing and the sheer quality of the answers that you provided to the questions that were asked. So on this note, we end today's program. I want to thank all of you for coming.